1971 के हम पर थोपे गए युद्ध में बीएसएफ के जवानों ने जो वीरता दिखाई, जो योगदान दिया, उसको ना भारत कभी भूल सकता है, ना कभी बांग्लादेश ने भूलना चाहिए।
They say you cannot change your neighbors, but in 1971, the Indian Armed Forces changed that axiom. For 53 strong years, India gave its best to maintain a healthy partnership with its newest neighbor, Bangladesh. However, it all changed on August 5th, 2024.
ছাত্রী ভাই বোনদেরকে স্পেশাল থ্যাঙ্কস। আপনারা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন আমি
What started off as a students' movement against the reservations given to descendants of freedom fighters in Bangladesh turned out to be a well-planned operation to oust Sheikh Hasina in the first year of her historic fifth term as the Prime Minister.
And this is the responsibility we take together, and you will be here with us in that dream, making that dream come true. They shook the whole country by their speeches, by their dedication, their commitment. They said, you can kill us anytime you want, but we are not giving up. And he is known as to be the brain behind the whole revolution.
And when the dust settled in Dhaka, it was this man who emerged out of nowhere at the helm of affairs. They call him Professor Muhammad Yunus, Chief Advisor to the Interim Govt of Bangladesh, legalese for the unelected ruler of Dhaka. A man touted as the banker of the poor by his Western backers, Yunus began his journey in 1983 with experiments in microfinancing through his Grameen Bank. Projecting himself as a revolutionary, he cultivated a strong relationship with the Clintons. He called Hillary a friend. He even secured the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006 and the US Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009. However, Yunus was no saint in the eyes of Sheikh Hasina. When she returned to power in 2008, she labelled Yunus a quote, bloodsucker of the poor. She accused Grameen Bank of exploiting the poor, and in 2011, Yunus was forced out of the corruption-riddled bank. But a coup in Dhaka, Hasina in exile, a depleted BNP under an out-of-touch Khalida Zia, former Prime Minister and Sheikh Hasina's main rival, Muhammad Yunus managed something that no democracy would allow. A shot at the top job without a single vote casted.
I think Muhammad Yunus has been a failure for the last 8 months. The main problem is that his has been an interim government, not even a caretaker government. But immediately after he came to power in August last year, he was backed by the Jamaat-e-Islami, he was backed by all the Islamist forces. And they started as if they are going to be there for the long term, and they started reforms, which is not the mandate of an interim government. They started changing laws, changing individuals, which is completely not the mandate of an interim government.
While Yunus came to power on the back citing democratic reforms, so far he has only met extremist leaders. He has banned Hasina's party from contesting elections. He has rejuvenated the ties with Pakistan and the ISI and made irresponsible statements on India's territorial sovereignty while sitting in Beijing.
Eastern part of India, called Seven Sisters. They are landlocked country, landlocked region of India. They have no way to reach out to the ocean. We are the only guardian of the ocean for all this region. So this opens up a huge possibility. So this could be an extension of the Chinese economy. Build things, produce things, market things, bring things to China, bring it out to the whole rest of the world. That's a production house for you. So that's the opportunity we should seize and we should implement, we should get it done.
What Muhammad Yunus miscalculated totally was that after he came to power in August, he started doing two things. Professor Muhammad Yunus went to China and came up with a number of projects. And do you know that one of those projects was to revive an old World War II Air Force base in Lalmunirhat, which is very near the Siliguri corridor and very near China, very near, you know, the Doklam and other sensitive places on the China-Bhutan and China-India border. So I think that this is a very dangerous game that Muhammad Yunus has been trying to play.
From the closure of the land ports for Dhaka to clashes on the international border, India and Bangladesh's ties are at an all-time low in the 9-month rule of unelected Muhammad Yunus. Now, his Chief of Army Staff, General Waqar Zaman, wants him out.
যদি নিজেদের মধ্যে ভেদাভেদ ভুলে একসাথে কাজ না করতে পারেন, নিজেরা যদি কাদা ছোড়াছুড়ি করেন, মারামারি কাটাকাটি করেন, এই দেশ এবং জাতির স্বাধীনতা সার্বভৌমত্ব বিপন্ন হবে। আমি আজকে বলে দিলাম, নাইলে আপনারা বলবেন যে আমি আপনাদের সতর্ক করিনি। আমি সতর্ক করে দিচ্ছি আপনাদের। I had enough. Was last 7-8 months I had enough.
On the 21st of May, the army chief, General Waqar Zaman, he held a big meeting with all his officers. And in that meeting, it was a unanimous meeting, even officers who were on peacekeeping operations, they joined virtually. And in that, he has said very categorically that the army will not tolerate any more mob violence and anarchy. And they said that they will, there's this big question of a humanitarian corridor, which they're trying to have to go to the Arakan and have it through Bangladesh. But the anticipation is that arms and weapons and ammunition will go to the Arakan army through that corridor. So all this coming together led to the army saying that they do not want the corridor, it's a security threat. B, telling Professor Muhammad Yunus that he is not keeping the army informed on security issues. And C, reminding everybody that the liberation war, the values of the liberation war are non-negotiable.
Now that the rumors are rife in Dhaka about Yunus's potential resignation or another military coup, Yunus called a surprise meeting of his advisory council.
The planning advisor of Bangladesh, Dr. Wahiduddin Mahmood, dismissed the speculation regarding the resignation of the chief advisor, Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus, after an advisory council meeting on Saturday. He said the chief advisor is staying with us and all the other advisors as well.
While Yunus's loyalists are claiming there is no need to panic, after meeting Yunus, BNP, the leading opposition party in Bangladesh, has made it clear: hold elections by December. Meanwhile, the Bangladeshi society is torn on the prospect of Yunus continuing in power.
একটু বলেন তো যে পদত্যাগ করলে আপনার কাছে কি মনে হয়, কেমন হবে?
পদত্যাগ করলে ভালো হইব।
কেন ভালো হবে মনে হচ্ছে?
বালাই ইলেকশনে মনে হয় যদি ইলেকশন না দেয় তো দেশ এইভাবে চলবো। উল্টা পাল্টা দিয়ে বাজার হেরিয়া কেউ মানে না তো করে যে কোনো মনে হয় সরকার একটা ক্ষমতা গেলে মনে হয় বালা। এইবার তো দিনকাল বালা যাইতেছে না। এবার কেউ কেউ মানে রাস্তাঘাট, কেউ কেউ মানে আইন কানুন কিছু নাই।
আমি মনে করি কি ইউনুস স্যার যদি এই আমাদেরকে এই পথচারী অবস্থা যদি ছেড়ে যায় তাহলে আমাদের দেশটা ধ্বংস হয়ে যাবে।
This sentiment on the ground, expressing dissatisfaction with Yunus, is reflected with more clarity by the likes of author activist Taslima Nasreen and Hasina's son Sajib Wazid. He has unleashed a torrent of unrest in the country, orchestrated jihadi mayhem, destruction and arson by setting his followers loose, says Nasreen. Wajid, in his long post, accuses Yunus of abuse of power and personal ingratiation. Taken together, it's a story of an old man with little experience in governance getting deluged by the complexities and finally caving in. The political clock is ticking for Yunus. BNP is breathing down his neck. Students who brought him to the chair are restless. The Jamaat is hitting the streets once again. Is it only a matter of time before General Waqar Zaman moves in and seizes control from Muhammad Yunus? Or will Yunus resign to save face? The only thing that is clear in Dhaka is that the winds of change are blowing.
And I think, first of all, the most important issue is what the army has said, and which the people of Bangladesh wholly support: free, fair and inclusive elections, definitely before December of this year. So this is the bottom line for everybody in Bangladesh, for the political parties, for the people and so on. Now, when you say free, fair and inclusive elections, immediately the question comes, why have they banned the Awami League? They're not authorized to ban any political party. They've done it entirely out of spite because they realize that the Awami League is still popular. So my point is that there must be free, fair and inclusive elections. Awami League must be allowed to participate. All other political parties must be allowed to participate.